Hello, please. Today, we're going to talk about psychology, not the dry academic theory from textbooks, but the kind of psychology that changes lives. In this video, you'll learn who Freud and Jung were, two thinkers who reshaped how we understand the human mind. The difference between Freud's psychoanalysis and Jung's analytical psychology. What archetypes are, and how they shape your decisions, emotions, and relationships. And most importantly, how to recognize the eternal boy inside you, so you don't stay emotionally stuck for the rest of your life. This isn't just a lecture, it's an invitation to go inward, to pause, and to ask yourself uncomfortable questions. We'll dive deep into the unconscious. We'll explore the role of comfort, fear, and responsibility in your life. We'll ask, why is comfort often a trap? And why is fear of responsibility not your enemy, but an unfinished lesson? This is the first in a series of psychological deep dives here on this channel. So sit back, focus, and if you stay with me until the end, you might just start seeing yourself and the world around you a little differently. Freud and Psychoanalysis. To understand where modern psychology comes from, we need to travel back to the end of the 19th century. At that time, the human brain was studied mostly as a biological organ, but not yet as a window into the hidden world within. That's when he appeared, Sigmund Freud, an Austrian psychiatrist who was the first to suggest there's more to us than just thoughts. There are hidden forces that shape our behavior from the shadows. What is psychoanalysis? Freud created a method of therapy called psychoanalysis based on a bold idea that our anxieties, neuroses, and inner conflicts all have deep roots in the unconscious. He believed that our psyche has three layers: consciousness, the part you're aware of; preconscious, just beneath the surface, memories you can recall; unconscious, a deep vault of repressed memories, instincts, childhood trauma, fears, and desires. At first, Freud used hypnosis to access this hidden world. Later, he developed the method of free association, letting people speak freely until the unconscious revealed itself. He introduced radical ideas: the Oedipus complex, a child's desire for the mother and rivalry with the father; psychosexual stages of development, from oral to genital phases; the structure of the psyche, id, instincts, ego, reality, superego, morality. His approach was controversial. It was heavily focused on sexuality, but for the first time in history, the human psyche was treated as a scientific system, not just a soul or a mystery. Jung and the path within. Freud had a disciple, a brilliant one. His name was Carl Gustav Jung, a Swiss psychiatrist who, at first, admired Freud deeply. But over time he began to drift away, not because he rejected Freud's ideas, but because he saw something more. Freud focused on sexuality. Jung looked for meaning. He believed the human psyche wasn't just a battlefield of instincts and trauma, but also a mysterious landscape filled with symbols, myths, and ancient echoes. It was Jung who coined the term analytical psychology, a branch that broke away from Freud's version. Its foundation, a journey inward, toward wholeness, a process Jung called individuation, where we integrate the conscious and the unconscious, shadow and self, pain and power. Jung's most important discovery, what he called the collective unconscious. Unlike Freud, who believed the unconscious was built only from repressed personal memories, Jung said this: there are two layers of the unconscious: the personal unconscious, like Freud's model, forgotten experiences, trauma, desires, the collective unconscious, not shaped by your life, but inherited from all of human history. This collective unconscious speaks through archetypes, universal images, and patterns that show up in myths, fairy tales, dreams, and religions. The mother, the hero, the wise old man, the shadow, the child, the traveler, the god. These are not fantasies, they are structures of the psyche, and whether you believe in them or not, they live inside you. So, what divided Freud and Jung? Let's look at their key differences. Freud saw a human being as a biological machine with urges. Jung saw a soul, seeking meaning. Archetypes, the shadow and the mask. Carl Jung believed we don't just carry personal memories or traumas, we carry archetypes, primordial patterns that shape how we think, feel, love, and suffer. They're not memories, they're blueprints, psychic programs written not by you, but by history. Let's explore two of the most powerful ones. Archetype 1, the shadow. The shadow is everything inside you that you reject. Anger, envy, weakness, rage, lust, fear. The parts of yourself you were told not to feel. So you pushed them down, buried them, forgot them. But they didn't disappear. They return in outbursts, in dreams, in projection onto others. Example, you think everyone around you is irritating. Maybe you're suppressing your own irritability. You're shocked by other people's cruelty. Maybe you fear your own aggression. Jung said, only the man who has faced his shadow can become whole, not the perfect man, not the polite man, but the one who knows his darkness and chooses not to be a monster. Archetype 2, the persona. The persona is the mask you wear to face the world. It's the role you play, at work, at home, on social media. You shape it to be liked, accepted, respected, or invisible. It's not fake. It's a tool for survival. But here's the danger. If you believe your mask is your identity, you lose yourself. The persona is necessary, but if it becomes your only face, you become hollow. These archetypes, the shadow and the persona, are always in tension. One hides in the dark, the other performs in the light, but the true self lives beyond both. Archetypes, Anima, Animus, and the self. Not all archetypes are dark or hidden. Some live at the very heart of who we are, shaping how we love, relate, and grow. Let's continue the journey. Archetype 3, Anima and Animus. Inside every man lives an image of the feminine. Jung called it the Anima. Inside every woman, a hidden image of the masculine, the Animus. These are not roles. They are inner energies, formed by our relationships with parents, culture, and stories. They influence who we fall in love with, what we admire, and what we fear in the opposite sex, what we seek in a partner, and what we run from. The anima in a man might appear as gentle, intuitive, nurturing, or chaotic, manipulative, overly emotional. The animus in a woman might be logical, strong, determined, or cold, critical, tyrannical. Jung believed wholeness comes only when we integrate these inner opposites, not reject them, not worship them, but balance them. Archetype 4, the self. At the center of the psyche, Jung placed the self, not your ego, not your job title, not your reputation, but the deep inner unity of everything you are. To become the self is not to become perfect, it is to become whole, to integrate your shadow, your persona, your anima or animus, your life story, pain, gifts, and contradictions. The self is when you're no longer performing, but living truthfully. when you're no longer chasing approval, but walking your path. It is the symbol of full maturity, the still point inside you that holds it all together. Why does this matter? Because most people live fragmented lives. They don't know their shadow. They mistake their persona for their real self. They project their anima or animus onto lovers. They never meet the self, and so they repeat the same patterns, fall for the same traps, and never feel whole. Jung didn't want us to eliminate archetypes. He wanted us to recognize them, so we can stop living on autopilot, so we can choose how to live. Puer Aeternus, the eternal boy. Deep in the unconscious, Jung found one of the most haunting and powerful archetypes. He called it Puer Aeternus, Latin for the eternal boy. On the surface, it sounds romantic, a young spirit, curious, inspired, eyes full of wonder, believing the best is always ahead. But if this boy never transforms, he becomes trapped, and that trap isn't cute, it's a prison. Who is the eternal boy? He avoids responsibility, fears commitment, worships freedom but dreads consequences, stays unrooted in love, work, and society. He's not 18, he might be 35 or 45, still living like a teenager, still waiting for life to begin. Where does the eternal boy come from? Often from childhood, from overprotective mothers, or the absence of a strong father figure. Jung wrote, "The puer flees the cold, brutal world and seeks the warmth of childhood beneath the mother's protection. It is the unconscious temptation to return to the womb. Motherly love is sacred, but when it doesn't let go, the boy never learns to separate, to fight, to fail, to stand alone." In the past, this was solved through initiation, rituals that force the boy to become a man. Today, we have TikTok, PlayStation, and a mother who still makes his bed at 30. The eternal boy in today's world. It's not rare anymore. It's a generation, and society quietly encourages it. Common signs, constantly quitting jobs. They don't understand me. Avoiding long-term relationships. I'm not ready. Addicted to dreams, fantasies, or endless planning. Emotionally tied to mother, or seeking her in every partner, believing that real life will start someday. He lives in emotional comfort, video games, vapes, porn, procrastination, fast food, scrolling, influencers promising success without effort, romantic or tragic. The pure often looks magnetic, charismatic, creative, charming, always talking about big plans, searching for himself, evolving, but deep inside, fear of failure, fear of normal life, fear of stability, because to him, stability is death, and fantasy is escape. The danger of Puer Aeternus, emotional immaturity. He wants eternal childhood, but it leaves him frozen, illusion of choice. He never commits, always waiting for something better. Mother complex, he stays tied to his mother, or looks for her in every woman, frustration and apathy. Over time, dreams fade, depression sets in, bitterness grows, pure in pop culture. This archetype is everywhere. Peter Pan, the boy who refuses to grow up. Neo in the Matrix. At first, a lost pure living a double life, until he chooses the red pill and transforms. In modern culture, it's called Peter Pan syndrome. Men stuck in not yet. Two sides, light and shadow. Jung student, Marie-Louise von France, described the pure as bipolar. Light side, imaginative, passionate, inspired. Dark side, immature, dependent, irresponsible. Jung didn't say kill the boy. He said integrate him, honor the dreamer, but anchor him in action, in discipline, in choice. Because only through action does the boy become a man, and only through hardship is maturity born. Initiation. Becoming a man in the modern world. In the past, when a boy came of age, something happened. It wasn't random. It wasn't soft. It wasn't optional. It was initiation. A sacred process designed to do one thing: kill the boy, to give birth to the man. What did initiation look like? African tribes boys were taken from their homes at night, without warning. They were left in the forest, facing trials, pain, and fear. They fasted, bled, listened to tribal secrets. When they returned, they were different. They could no longer sit on their mother's lap. They were men. Sparta. At age 7, boys were taken from their families. They entered the agog, a system of brutal training. They learned to endure pain, hunger, and authority. By 18, they were warriors. Returning to their mother was considered shameful. Native American vision quests. Young men were sent alone into the mountains or desert. No food, no sleep, no fire. Their goal: face death or return transformed. Medieval Europe. Initiation lived in the guilds and night orders. Boys became apprentices. They served masters. They faced discipline, humility, and structure. They earned their sword through trial. What all initiations had in common: separation from the mother. No man is born under her blanket. Presence of older men. Always warriors, elders, mentors, guiding the path. Pain, fear, risk. Without it, initiation is just theater, a change of status. You came back with a new name, a new role, and new responsibility. There was no going back. And what do we have today? Nothing. No lines, no rituals, no moments of irreversible change. In the 21st century, a man can live with his mom until 40, avoid all commitments, keep studying, but never work, get dopamine from screens instead of action, feel like he's achieving without doing anything. No trial, no fire, no separation. So what do we get? Millions of eternal boys growing old in body, but not in soul. Who's to blame? Not just the mothers, not just the fathers, but a culture that forgot how to initiate. Today's parents are overprotective. I want you to have what I never had. Absent, emotionally or physically. Overlenient. You don't have to do anything you don't want. Just be happy. This leads not to freedom, but to confusion. How to bring back initiation today? Find a mentor, not a wizard, not a guru, but someone ahead of you. A coach, a boss, a friend, someone who walks the path you're just entering. Seek a challenge. Fear is your modern rite of passage. Speak on stage, start the project, lift the weight, do what scares you, on purpose. Go through pain, consciously, don't run from it. Go through it, let it shape you. Create a circle of men. One man alone isn't enough. Masculine energy is born in brotherhood. Find those who speak the language of strength, action, and truth. Why does it matter? Because without initiation, the man stays tied to his mother. The woman doesn't feel safe with him. The world loses leaders, protectors, and wise men. Jung said, "A man who has not separated from his mother remains a child in an adult's armor. He may have strength, but he doesn't know where to aim it, and that is dangerous." The modern world, comfort, and the need for transformation. We live in the most comfortable century in human history. No more hunting for food, no more freezing in caves, no more wars at the village gates, no more battles for love, shelter, or survival. Modern life erased the external challenges that once forged maturity, resilience, and responsibility. Now, what once demanded strength has become a subscription service. Jung and the Afternoon of Life. Carl Jung compared life to the movement of the sun. Dawn, birth. Morning, ego, ambition, growth. Noon, career peak, identity. Afternoon, reflection, inner depth. Night, death. But today, most people get stuck between morning and noon. They won't move forward. Why? Because comfort feels better, and time feels infinite, but it's not. The trap of comfort. Comfort sounds like paradise, but it's often a silent killer. Food delivered instantly, porn in one click, victory in video games, no real risk. Antidepressants, dopamine hits, TikTok. Modern life gives you pleasure without effort, relief without growth, control without actual control. The brain gets its rewards, but the soul stays hungry. The paradox. The easier life becomes, the harder it is to live. In the past, to eat you had to hunt, grow, or trade. To survive you had to act. To love you had to risk. Today, you can survive on convenience. You can live your whole life without leaving your room. You can have hundreds of friends and no real connection. Comfort has erased the conditions for maturity. In the past, only the strong survived. Today, everyone survives, but not everyone truly lives. The dopamine generation. We live in a world of instant reward. TikTok, a new hit every 15 seconds. Amazon, click, and it's on your doorstep tomorrow. Food, fat, sugar, now. Influencers, fake success without real struggle. Dopamine, the chemical of anticipation, is now flooding our brains, and with it comes burnout, apathy, and a loss of meaning. We feel satisfied, but we feel empty. When pain disappeared, so did growth once. Pain was normal, part of the human story. Now, it's a bug, a glitch, a thing to fix. Feeling sad? Scroll. Feeling alone? Text a stranger. Feeling anxious? Switch tabs. But true maturity is born not in comfort, but in tension. In crisis. In hard choices. Without pain, no transformation. Without conflict, no evolution. Without discomfort, no manhood. Freedom or fragmentation. Today, we are free. No obligation to marry, no pressure to have children, no identity forced on us, no direction if we don't want one. But freedom without responsibility leads to collapse. A life without structure falls apart. And we're seeing it. Rising depression and anxiety, men in isolation, lost motivation even among the privileged, a hollow ache that no lifestyle can fix. The numbers speak. In the US, over 50% of men under 30 are not in a relationship. In Japan, the term hikikomori describes men who haven't left their homes in years. The average age for marriage and fatherhood keeps rising. A growing number of men simply refuse to grow up, and the world seems fine with that. But are you? Ask yourself, does a life of ease bring you peace? Does avoiding everything make you proud? Does worshiping comfort make you whole? Because deep down, every soul craves struggle, challenge, and purpose, not for punishment, but for awakening. What would Jung say today? Comfort is the new form of spiritual regression. A man who avoids challenge ceases to be a man. He becomes consumption wearing a human face. So what can you do? Cut the dopamine. Less TikTok, more books, less swiping, more stillness, not as morality, but as mental hygiene. Install discipline. Comfort won't vanish, but habits reshape your chemistry. Walk greater than scroll. Train greater than number plan, greater than drift. Embrace hardship. Don't flee it. Use it. Learn from it. Seek meaning, not convenience. Meaning is what stays when everything else falls away. Final thoughts. We've walked a long path, from Freud to Jung, from the individual to the collective unconscious, from archetypes to shadows, from eternal boys to ancient rites, from comfort back to soul. If you've stayed this far, it means something in you is stirring. A call toward change. Jung on adulthood. Real life, Jung said, begins after 30, when you face the deeper question, who am I? Without the roles, the masks, the applause of others. It's the moment when fame doesn't save you, likes don't fulfill you, sex doesn't ground you, comfort doesn't heal you. It's the moment you finally hear the soul. The eternal boy is not the enemy. The Puer isn't evil. He's potential. He's a dreamer, a creator, a seeker. Inside him is God, not yet born. The problem is not that you're still a boy. The problem is that you're stuck there, untransformed, unintegrated, unmatured. The trap: you must bleed. No man grows without loss. That's the law. To become someone new, you must bury who you were. You must face broken dreams, separation from mother energy, your own weakness, your shadow, doubts, collapse, identity crisis. And if you walk through that fire, you come out real, not perfect, but whole. As Marie-Louise von Franz wrote, poor men must learn by experience, not theory. They must suffer and be disappointed before they truly begin to understand themselves. Knowledge won't save you. Books won't fix you. Only action will. Only wounds will. Only doing the hard thing anyway will. So where do you begin? 1. Face your shadow. What are you avoiding? What habits are killing you? Where are you weak and blaming others? 2. Starve the fake dopamine. No porn. Dick's minutes, TikTok max. 1 hour, no screens daily. Eat real food. Trade shows for silence. 3. Do what's hard. Train daily. Wake up early. Cold showers. Hold yourself accountable. Work, even if it's not perfect. 4. Create your own initiation. Something that divides your life into before and after. A challenge, a retreat, a solo journey. Let it change you. 5. Define your mission. Why are you here? Why do you exist? Write it, say it, pray it, hunt it. Your goal is not to succeed. It's to become who you were meant to be. Final quote. The hero is not the one who feels no fear. The hero is the one who acts despite it. Fear is normal. Doubt is necessary. Mistakes are required. But waiting forever? That's death without a funeral. That's a life that never became yours. To be a man is not about muscles, not about money, not about alpha status. It's about your ability to take responsibility, be honest, endure pain, make decisions, be a pillar for yourself and others, and live with depth. Final words from Jung. He who looks outside dreams. He who looks inside awakens. If anything in this video moved you, don't leave it in your head. Do something today. Delete the app. Call your father. Go for a run. Write the first page. Sit in silence. Begin, because everything changes with a single step. And maybe that step is now.